Welcome to Little Langdale, a beautiful, idyllic valley tucked away in the heart of the English Lake District. Today we'll be exploring Blea Tarn, which has achieved somewhat legendary status in the Lake District over the years with adventurers and photographers alike. It sets the stage for many a classic Lakeland walk such as Pike of Blisco, Bow Fell, Lingmore Fell, and various others, including today's summit. Its waters also form the picturesque view and focal point of images from many summits surrounding this valley. The tarn has even popped up on TV, most notably in the Netflix series The Witcher. Archaeologists have traced human activity here at Blea Tarn and the wider Langdale areas back to Neolithic times, with specific artefacts being dated at around 3500 to 4000 BC. Many people know of the Great Langdale Axe Factory due to the numerous discarded polished stone axe heads found amongst the screes in the area. The Romans were also known to inhabit outposts around the Lake District, and there's also evidence to suggest that Vikings once inhabited the land in the 10th century, and a little later than that, humans also occupied the area in the medieval age. Welcome back, guys. Feels like a while since I've seen you on one of these adventure vlogs. It must have been October at Malham Cove last time, but since then I have released a couple of shorter form videos as I experiment a little bit. But what a way to kickstart 2023, as you just saw at the beautiful Blea Tarn. I mean, just look at this scene here with the iconic Langdale pikes in the background, and we have Chantelle with us today.
Hi guys.
You'll have met Chantelle on a previous video perhaps, always good to have her with us. And today we're basically going to be circuiting the tarn here through the woodland behind me, and we're going to come out the other side. And where you see this V shape just in the background with the Langdale pikes over the top, we're basically going to climb the right hand side of that V shape, and we're going to head up to the summit of Side Pike for some amazing views. And there's actually some people on top there already. It's a very popular route this today. It is the 2nd of January. It might be February by the time you see this, but Happy New Year all the same. And it's not actually as cold as we were expecting, is it?
No, it isn't, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a lot colder.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on the route.
Why not?
That's Pike of Blisco up there.
That one right there.
So first of all, guys, we're just going to follow the path at the head of Blea Tarn. Just here. The tarn is over here to our right. There it is. And we're going to head through these woodlands, through this gate at the end of the trail. So we head through the gate. Immediately we're onto a little trail. We can see a lovely scene with a bridge over the stream here. And then we sort of climb up a little bit into the woodland. We're then on this woodland path. And I think that'll be it for the foreseeable until we emerge from the woodland and start to ascend up to the col, the V-shaped valley that you saw earlier. So as I mentioned earlier, inhabitation of humans in this valley and so the surrounding valleys dates back to Neolithic times, which is roughly about 10,000 BC right through to about 2,500 BC. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But as I do a lap of the Tarn here today, and when we're taking the views from Side Pike a little later, I just want you to join me in imagining how these people must have lived thousands and thousands of years ago. Please join me in the comments and talk about it, because I'd like to know more about it. But what did they eat? Did they hunt? What animals were sort of native in the area at the time? Did they cultivate the land? How did they keep warm? What kind of dwellings did they have? It must have been a very primitive lifestyle. I'm just emerging now from the woodland for a great view of where we're going. Enjoying the walk so far?
I am. Yeah, it's great fun.
Easy enough, isn't it though?
Yeah.
The route's very easy to follow so far. So just before we leave Blea Tarn behind, I just want to get into a couple of things before we do. Blea Tarn was actually left here by the glaciers, as you might have expected. And I would assume the glacier flowed over from Great Langdale, over the col there that we showed you, that V-shaped valley, through this one. And this would have been the meltwater that was left behind. And what a great thing that it was, because we can now come and we can take that epic photo of Blea Tarn's reflections of the Langdale pikes in the background. And you'll have seen that all over your Instagram. And it's so accessible with the car park that you might even be able to see in the middle of the screen. That's where we're parked, right over the road from the Tarn and National Trust car park. And yeah, the route itself to this point has been relatively easy, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's been great.
And it's just a little bit of up and down, a bit of woodland, but it's about to get a little bit steeper, and we're going to head up Side Pike, and I'll tell you more about that shortly. Let's go. Sun's just...
So, I've been left with his other camera to shoot a little bit of my own footage. So here goes. So far we've obviously been at the lake at Blea Tarn, which was absolutely beautiful, photographer's paradise. And now obviously we're now on our way up to Side Pike, which I'm really looking forward to climbing. It's still quite mild, just a bit of a nip at the fingers, but apart from that it's all good. And just trying to catch Alex up as he's going ahead shooting, whilst I do a bit of b-rolling. So I'll catch up with you soon.
Steadily ascending up this path, we eventually hit the road that joins the little Langdale Valley with the Great Langdale Valley. And this is where the ascent begins. We're about to head up Side Pike. There's a path that just cuts around, seems to round this crag, and then it heads on up. Come on. You'll see a cattle grid on the road. You cross over the road, you head through the gate, and you find yourself at the start of your route to climb Side Pike. So we've reached the moment where we're about to start ascending up to Side Pike. It's about 360 metres. I think that's about 1,180 feet if you work in feet. But I always wondered about Side Pike. Why was it never included in Wainwright's books? And I think there's a few reasons. First of all, the Southern Fells book was already quite saturated and full of other fells. And it is very much a sister summit to Lingmore Fell, which has very similar views, very similar ascent and descent routes. So I guess he felt like it was just doubling up on the same work. So perhaps that's why he didn't include it. But either way, it is quite a significant summit, and the main event here is definitely the view of those Langdale pikes that you'll be seeing here now. And we've also got awesome views right down Little Langdale Valley to Wetherlam, and we can see Pike Blisco here, and Bow Fell and the Crinkle Crags. A little bit of dusting of snow up there as well, which is quite cool. Here's the view so far. So, Pavey Arc, that kind of cliff face, Harrison Stickle, the tallest of the Langdale pikes. Little Thorn Crag here, not actually a Wainwright, with Loft Crag, and then on the end you've got Pike o' Stickle, or Pickle Spike as Chantelle calls it. What do you think about that pickle spike? Quite impressive, isn't it?
It really is.
Pickle spike?
It's a great name.
Is that one pickle spike?
Yeah. It's a nickname. Just how amazing would that be? Just Bow Fell there, the tip of it just covered in snow. Just imagine that whole landscape, and what a photographer's paradise that would be if that was just covered in snow. Just look absolutely beautiful.
It's just not quite got enough of a dusting, has it?
No.
It's just that little sprinkle.
Yeah.
There seems to be a slightly trodden grassy path just here. Or do we just simply go route 1? And I think that's the winner. Chantelle thinks we're risking life and limb on the edge here, but there's a definite grassy path that just curves around, and I'm sure it's going to go up at some point. And lo and behold, it does. Whoa! Nearly went off the edge. One last scramble, hopefully, and then, is this the summit? It's got to be soon. How are you feeling about the route so far?
Not too bad. There's a few little rocky moments.
We weren't nearly there at all. We've still got that to climb. As you've seen from the terrain though coming up, it is very much a scramble. Got a bit of a sweat on. In fact, you can see our path, and I'll just point it out now for you. So I might not be pointing directly at it on the camera, but you can see the curving path that comes along the base of Pike Blisco there, and comes to a wall. You get the cattle grid on the road, and then it was onwards and upwards. Obviously I knew there were two elements to Side Pike. I just got very hopeful on the ascent just there, bit of a false sense of security. But there it is, it's just a short stroll to the top, and we're looking forward to getting up there and taking in those views and showing them to you guys watching at home. So next time you see us, we'll be summiting this thing. And this is the final climb. There is no more to Side Pike than what you see in front of us here. Here we have it, the summit of Side Pike.
Yay! We made it.
That might also be the summit, so we'll touch both just to make sure. Ready?
Yeah.
I think this one is higher actually. Side Pike summit there, guys. We've enjoyed it, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. It's been great.
Taking in some great views from the top. I hope you enjoyed those too from the footage just now. It's time for us to pick our way down before we lose too much of the light. But yeah, it's been a good day. My only regret is that we didn't perhaps leave enough time to show you the squeeze, also known as Fat Man's Agony, a tight little narrow gap that you have to take your backpack off to squeeze through to get around the side of the mountain down here. But it would have also been nice to have done Langdale Fell as well, but we just didn't have the time. Before we sign off, I just want to give you a quick tour of the skyline and show you the fells that are surrounding us right now. Straight ahead of me, further south, we have Weatherlam. Moving further around, I'm feeling that's Grey Friar in the backdrop, but you can't quite see it because this ridge leading up to Pike Blisco. Then, shrouded in cloud, we have the Crinkle Crags just over here. Just cloud on the tops up there, and Bow Fell has now definitely gone in to the cloud, with some snow just dusting on top over there. And looking further around, we have Pike Stickle right on the end, the dome, the famous dome of Pike Stickle, or Pickle Spike as Chantelle calls it. Then we have Loft Crag and Harrison Stickle and the cliff face there of Pavey Ark. And then on this side, obviously we have the Great Langdale Valley leading along to Elterwater and Langdale Fell, which, like I say, would have liked to have climbed today, but just didn't quite have enough time left. And finally, Blea Tarn, back where we started with Weatherlam. in the backdrop. Well then guys, that was Side Pike. Awesome view, quite a scramble to get up. So make sure you're of able body before you set out to try and hit this summit. There is a bit of rock scrambling required. But the payoff is huge, so I highly recommend it. And we're going to head off now, get ourselves a nice cold beer in the pub and get some tea. Thank you so much for watching this video once again. From myself and Chantelle, it's goodbye for now. And in the meantime, explore safely and we'll see you out there.
See you later, guys.